Buenos días, clase. Hoy vamos a aprender un poco más de las letras del abecedario o alfabeto en español. The three things you'll need for this video are the handouts you have in front of you, these note sheets on special letters. Segundamente, necesitas un cuaderno o hoja de papel, a notebook or a sheet of paper para tomar apuntes, to take some notes. Obviamente, un marcador y un lápiz, pen, pencil, as well as a marker to make sure you're able to highlight and follow along with the notes as needed. Vamos a empezar hoy con los vocales. The idea centrally here is that there are special letters in Spanish. So there's nothing necessarily written off to the side. The summaries here are pretty robust, so I didn't want to overwhelm you. We'll do more highlighting and practice than writing for this video. Okay. Vocales. Repita la palabra conmigo. Repeat with me. I'll give you about 5 seconds again. Vocales. Bien. Buen trabajo. Vocales significa vowels. Vowel sounds are super key when talking about special letters in Spanish. So let's dive into those together. There are 5 basic vowel sounds. Tenemos A, E, I, O, and U. Let's say them again together. A, the letter A. E, the letter E is pronounced E. Y finalmente, tres más. I, the letter I, is pronounced E, as in the English word see. Y O, the letter O, is pronounced O, as in the word go in English. Y U. U is pronounced U, as in the English word zoo. So again, A, E, I, O, U. Those 5 sounds are what all letters build off of in Spanish. So for each section of practice here, what you want to do is follow the directions given based on these page numbers to find words that give you an example of how each word should sound. The goal of today is to understand how to pronounce based on vowel sounds and other special characteristics of letters and words. Again, as said before, the letter A is pronounced A, as in the English word father. One thing to keep in mind is that Spanish vowels sound nearly the same in every word. Unlike English, where you can have ball and bat with the letter A as the vowel, you have 2 very different sounding words, ball and bat, a and ah, right? Or ah. So it's super important to realize that you are going to benefit greatly from this quality that I have highlighted. Again, Spanish vowels sound nearly the same in every word. It says here, write 3 Spanish words related to body parts. Body parts can be found on page 9. So when you're released into your practice, use that page number to fill this in. I'll give you an example. I'd love if you use a different example or 3 different examples than mine. But if you're having trouble, use mano. Let's say this word together, mano. La mano. La mano is the hand. That's the part of the body that's involved. When it says body parts, it says el cuerpo. El cuerpo is the body. Let's go on to E, part B. The letter E is pronounced E, as in the word pay. Write 3 examples. Now, for these examples, you're going to be on page 7 because you want to get 3 examples connected to the numbers under 10. So from 0 to 10, try to find examples of words that have this E sound in them, like the word tres. Tres has an E in it, therefore we have that E as in pay. This is an awfully tricky one because we're often tripped up by the idea of E and I being different sounds than we normally use them for. Part C. The letter I is pronounced E, as in the English word see. Write 2 examples of greetings. Again, greetings being on page 22 and also throughout the chapter, but that's a good lead for you. Find greetings that contain the letter I. Super simple, like buenos dias. It's not buenos dias, it's buenos dias because the I has that E sound. Buenos dias. D. Part D, letter O is pronounced O, as in the English word go. Write 3 Spanish numbers over 10 this time from page 7. So go back to page 7 for that section and write numbers over 10. Like once. Once has that O as in go. And finally, the letter U is pronounced U, as in the word zoo. Write 3 words from either page 2, 4, or 22 that you learned contain that letter U. I've given you one here, usted. Pay special attention to that letter as you're looking for them and pronouncing them while you write. Take a little bit of time now, jump into that practice. That's just a quick mini lesson on vocales. Now, we're going to jump forward. Once you have those page numbers and you finish that practice, you can push forward into the next aspect, which will be here. 8 sounds. Now, we learn vowels first because this impacts our 8 sounds. In Spanish, some letters have different pronunciations. Again, very key point, than they do in English. For example, first one, I would write a 1. The letter J, highlight, is pronounced like the letter H in English. So when you see a J, it's going to sound like the word hat, but even stronger, como Julio, Jorge, Juan, right? That J is going to be a very strong H sound. Number 2, letter G, when followed by an E or an I, has that same H sound. So it's key to realize that G can have that G sound, like the word gente, all right? Like the word gente. One thing to write down off to the side, which I'll read now, is more about the G sound. G before all other vowels has a G sound, like the word good or Google, gato, right? Those are examples that we see and have seen already, but realize the GE or GI combo makes an H sound. GA, GO, GU, that would make a G sound, like good in Google. Third and final H sound to keep in mind in Spanish, the Spanish letter H is always silent. That's a basic one, just one to keep you aware of how to pronounce words. So we'll go over that a little more in depth, but first let's say these aloud. Jorge, jueves, ay, hasta, hoja. I'm going to say them all quickly now that you've had a chance to try. Jorge, jueves, ay, hasta, y hoja. Notice when a word starts with an H, start with the vowel as the first syllable. So we have ay, hasta, y hoja, not hi or hey, not hasta, hasta, and hoja. We just skip over that H as a letter in the word. It just does not have any sound. Remember, H in Spanish is always silent. Practice here is pretty simple. It says circle the words below that have a pronounced H sound. Don't be fooled by those silent H's though. Go forward with that practice, and when you've finished circling words like Julio, then you should go through and do part B. Part B says now go back to part A, which is this box here, and what I want you to do is write a diagonal line like I've done here with hoy and all of these examples here for the words that have those false H sounds, right? It says the first one has been done for you. Hoja actually has an H sound, so you could circle it because of this J. But the H at the beginning actually gets crossed out because you don't pronounce it. So it's important to realize that some words are going to be a combination of a silent H and a J sounding H. So again, make sure you're recognizing all of the combinations, first circling the words that have that H pronounced, and second, going through and crossing out all those false H sounds, meaning find all of those silent H's and cross them out. After you finish that practice, we have one final special letter to keep in mind, and this is a big one, folks. So let's make sure we're aware and moving forward onto the same page. The letter C. This is one of the most essential sounds that you'll see throughout Spanish, starting very early with your numbers, as in the practice on part A. The letter C has two different sounds in Spanish. Okay, when followed by an A, O, or U, A, O, U, or any consonant. Now I'm going to highlight this word consonant, but consonant is just a special name for all other letters. Consonants would be R's and T's and D's, right? Any letter that's not a vowel, any letter that's not A, E, I, O, or U. And you can add to that list, it said any letter that's a consonant that is also not an H. Because up here you can see when followed by an H, C makes a ch sound, or che is the name of the letter, like the word check. So that would be a little different. That doesn't fit either of these categories, but the first thing to keep in mind is the hard H is made by CA, CO, and CU. That's a hard H. You can see that the hard H is pronounced like cat, k, cat, like como, practica, y encantado. Let's say those together. Como, practica, encantado. That k, k, k is that hard C. On to the next one. When the letter C is followed by an E or an I, E or E, those are two vowels, it is a soft C. It's pronounced like the S in the word Sally. Say these words with me after I repeat them. 12 gracias, silencio. 12 gracias, silencio. Now, you might hear me say these with a different accent, and I'll go into that deeper in class, but that's just my Spanish influence, the Spanish influence on my accent. These words all have that Sally S, that slithery snake S. 12, gracias, y silencio. Those three words all wear that soft C, and they wear it because they're followed by an I or an E. E or E. Bien? Now let's go into some practice. Write out the numbers below, which contain at least one C, one letter C. So all of these numbers given can be found on page 7. So you should go there now. As you get to page 7, you'll realize that these numbers are in a table together. What you want to do is go forward with writing out the words. So number 4, numero cuatro, and the number 0 is numero cero. After you've done all of those, then you can go below and it says now. Say each word aloud. So let's say those again. Cuatro. Is cuatro going to be hard C or soft C? Cuatro, cuatro. Say that a couple times back to back. Cuatro, cuatro. Is it like an S like Sally, or is it K as in cat? It's going to be that hard C. So based on these directions, it says underline the hard C, circle the soft. So we would go in on cuatro, and we would say cuatro. We underline that hard C, and then let's go on to the next one. Cero. Is that cero? Let's say that a couple times back to back. Cero, 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 cero. Cero is going to be that soft C. So we want to go in on that one and make sure we circle it. Some of these, as you go forward, may have more than one sound, so do not be too trigger happy as far as just underlining or circling the whole word. Make sure you take your time and don't jump the gun, okay? Again, underline the hard C, circle the soft. After you've completed that practice, you have learned and officially know all you need to about our special letters in Spanish, but there's a bit more to know about C sounds. So let's go there now. This is just an extension on C sounds. It's important that you have this in mind because these C sounds pop up often and they can be tricky to pronounce. The hard C we learned and the soft C we learned as well in the previous page. Two other ways to see the hard C sound are here below. Que and qui. Say these with me. Que, qui. Que, qui. K is always pronounced like the English word que. K. Key, Q-U-I, is always pronounced like the English word key, like what you put in the door. Let's say these words together. Quince, que, quiere. One more time. Quince, que, quiere. Remember that the hard C is sometimes spelled with a C and sometimes spelled with a Q. That's a key point. I'm going to have you highlight that again. But remember the hard C, sometimes spelled with a C, other times it wears the Q. Having that in mind will help keep you from getting tripped up here and as you pronounce words while reading. Underline the words in each group below with a hard C, as in cat. If it has that k, 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 then you know that it's a hard C. I've done number 1 and number 3. Let's go over the pronunciation for those words to see why I did those underlines. We have here clase, Garcia, y doce. Clase is the only word here that should be underlined out of these 3 because Garcia and doce have that S as in Sally sound. They have the soft C. Clase, however, has the hard C. So we can see there that we keep that underlined. Down to número 3. This word's particularly difficult, so let's say it a couple times. X. 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 X is la letra X in English. Dos X. Bien es como 2 X's, right? When you see that in the store or on commercials, that's what they're referring to as the symbol or emblem. X means X. Cierren and 16. 16 and cierren aren't underlined here because they have that cierren and 16, that soft C. Pero X, even though it has no C involved, is still the only word with a hard C because it has that Q-U-I that makes a key sound, which is a hard C. Finish up that practice and then pop down to part B, where in part B you'll be circling the words that have the soft C sound. Por ejemplo, we have Ricardo, cuarto y atención. Otra vez, Ricardo, cuarto, atención. I hope you realize that atención is the only word here that should be circled because it definitely has that soft C. Push forward now in all those practice bits and you have all you need to be successful in deepening your pronunciation en español. Buena suerte en la práctica y en sus charlas del jueves.